Hey everyone, it's Gilz with your pregame walk and talk here in Greensboro as Kansas State is getting set for its second round matchup against Kentucky here inside of Greensboro Coliseum on Sunday. The Cats versus the Cats for a trip to the Sweet 16 to play in Madison Square Garden for a shot at the East Regional. But before we talk about that, all focus has to be on this upcoming game against Kentucky. I'm sure Marquise Noel, all the New Yorkers on the team would love to play in New York, but all the focus is on Kentucky right now. And when you look at the actual game itself, all the focus really, I think, is being put on what Kentucky can do down low in the paint. Oscar Tshiebwe is probably the best big man in the country. 25 rebounds he had against Providence on Friday. If that doesn't tell you what he can do down low in the paint, I don't know what does. And K-State's interior play all season long it's been okay. It hasn't been exceptional or phenomenal, anything like that. But K-State, if there's one thing that its roster just kind of lacks, it's size. It's they're long and lengthy, sure, but K-State doesn't have that one guy down low in the paint that's just a true dominant force like Oscar Tshiebwe. So it'll certainly be something to follow in this game. K-State's going to have to do everything that it can to obviously score outside of the paint. I think K-State can certainly do that, manage that. But on the other end of the court, Oscar Tshiebwe, down low, rebounding, scoring, everything that he can do. He's just so good at using his body, creating space, boxing out, the little things, the big things. Oscar Tshiebwe, really does it all and is going to make things tough for Kansas State. These two teams have a history playing in March. Of course, I don't remember this game. I wasn't alive in 1951, but for the old ones out there, K-State did fall to Kentucky in the 1951 championship game, coming up just short of a national title. 2014, these two teams met as well. K-State got bumped in the first round of, against an 8-9 matchup against Kentucky. And then I believe this is K-State's only program win ever against Kentucky was in 2018 when Barry Brown and the Cats hit a game-winning layup in the final moments to send Kentucky home as K-State advanced to its first Elite Eight since 2010, back in 2018. And K-State, of course, did that without Dean Wade. K-State's pretty much close to full strength. I know there's some bumps and bruises associated with play, but by and large, K-State's ready to go. And this obviously doesn't give them a trip to the Elite Eight. This would give them a trip to the Sweet 16. I'm sure that would mean a lot for these coaches, for these players. Jerome Tang has blown any sort of expectations that we had just completely out of the water here in year one. So Oscar Tshiebwe, I mentioned him. I don't think I knew this, that Oscar Tshiebwe and Keontae Johnson have a relationship beyond basketball. And back when Keontae Johnson had his health scare back in 2020, Oscar Tshiebwe was one of those guys that reached out to him, prayed for him and all this stuff. So at the end of the day, it'll be a good competitive basketball game, but it is just a game, and Keontae Johnson and Oscar Tshiebwe are really the two superstars to watch. I know K-State's got Marquise Noel, but we've talked about him enough with his potential return back home to New York City in the Sweet 16. But to get there, like I said, you've got to win this one coming up if you want to get there against Kentucky. It should be just a great game all around. And let's be honest, this place is going to be pretty much a road game for Kansas State. I know there's going to be some K-State fans. They always travel well, and they will make a difference at times. But by and large, this is going to be a pro-Kentucky crowd. So K-State better gear up for it. And I'm not saying it's going to be intimidating playing here in Greensboro, but there will be more blue than purple in the crowd for this game. Of course, stay up to date on GoPowercat for all the updates coming your way ahead of Sunday's game. Should be a fun one as Kansas State gets set for its Sunday matchup against Kentucky here inside of Greensboro Coliseum.